Hey folks, Chef Jesse. How's everybody doing today on a Thursday? What is it, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday night. Anyway, folks, today I like to have soup when it's cold. Like it's a cold winter out there, but you can always have soup. It doesn't matter. You don't have to wait for winter time. So we're gonna have soup today. We're gonna have soup. We're gonna have French onion soup. Okay, a lot of people don't know what French onion soup is, or they never tried it, or they, I don't know. But I'm gonna be making some French onion soup, and I'm putting this hundreds of recipes out there of French onion soup, but this is the way I make it. And if you like it, you can follow it. If not, then make your own French onion soup. What I'm gonna tell you. So anyway, and we're gonna have some grilled cheese with it. Okay. Now I know everybody tells me it's grilled cheese and tomato soup. Yes, it is. But is it written in stone that you have to have tomato soup with grilled cheese? No, it's not. So what the hell? We're gonna have French onion soup. And I know French onion soup has toast in it and stuff. I'm not going to get into that. But we're going to be making some French onion soup. And you are going to be watching it as I make it. So stay tuned. So the first thing I'm going to be using a yellow onion or Spanish onion. So let me show you how it's done, okay? So I'm going to start off with one onion. I have another piece in the fridge there, but I'll show you. I'm going to cut off the top. Okay, the top is what really supports the whole onion. It really does. And I hate the skin of the onion. I don't know. I find the skin of the onion like kind of icky. Is that a word, icky? Anyway. So anyway, I'll peel this off. And this is bad. I mean, when you peel onions, you cry and the whole thing. But there's no reason to cry. So I'm gonna make a little slice here, and then I'm going to peel this skin. I'm gonna take the skin off. And like I said, I don't like the skin of onions. I just find it icky. So, it smells good right now. This is a nice onion because it's nice and juicy. As I'm peeling it, I can smell the flavor of the onion. Okay, here we go. So, peel the onion. Okay, peel the onion. There you go. Look at that. Now, what I like to do so it won't float around, I cut a piece at the end. Okay, just cut a piece, and look at that. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut it in. Just down the line, okay? Just line. I mean, I'm not taking measurement. I'm just going down the line, and down the line. Okay. There you go. Look at that. So the onion is cut up. Now I'm gonna cut it in half. You know what? I'm gonna cut it like. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut it in half, and then I'm gonna put it in there. Okay. Anyway, I lost one. I lost two. Oh God. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna put it in the. Come on, I don't have that. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break it up and put it in here in this bowl. And stay tuned. I'll show you how it looks. So, folks, I'm crying here, peeling these onions. Now, yeah, it looks like a lot of onions, but it's really not. It's because onions tend to look like a lot, and then when they break down, they're not a lot. So, I got an onion here. And I'm going to show you in just a minute how it looks. I got a whole big bowl of onions. And like I said, I'm using Spanish onions or yellow onions. And I'm going to break it up. I'm going to saute these things and cook them. Get the flavor out of them. And then I'm going to use some beef stock. And I'm going to put my soup together. So stay tuned. I'm here crying. I'm in tears because I'm cutting up onions. It's horrible. Oh, they smell delicious though. Onions smell delicious, but... Oh. My nose is running. I'm crying for no reason. So anyway, I'm going to show you what it looks like. So this big bowl of onions is going to probably, after you cook it, look like nothing. But this big bowl of onions is going to go in here. Okay? I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'm just going to let it cook for as long as it takes to break them down. And then we're going to put the beef stock in it. And then we're going to start cooking our soup. So stay tuned. So folks, I put about 3 or 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and I put 3 tablespoons of butter. The butter is going to prevent, the olive oil is going to prevent the butter from burning and whatever, vice versa, whatever it is. But I'm breaking down the onion. Let me show you. Okay, so there goes my pot full of onions. You're going to do a lot of crying when you make this soup. but it's gonna pay off at the end. All that crying is gonna pay off because it's got a lot of flavors. So right now, all I'm doing is I'm breaking down the onion. It's gonna take a while, maybe 15-20 minutes, and you're gonna just break this down. And when this is broken down, then you're gonna be adding the beef stock. I'm gonna be using some beef stock, beef broth actually. Today I'm using this College Inn. I usually I usually use the Progresso. It doesn't matter. They have low sodium one if you're watching your sodium intake, but this one's just good. It's 100%. I'm using 2 of these to make a big pot of the onion soup, and I'm gonna be, of course, putting some pepper in it. I'm gonna be putting some Marsala wine in it because the Marsala wine is actually what gives it the flavor. It gives it that kick, and it brings out the taste of the beef. So stay tuned. We're gonna break these down. So folks, you want to stir your onions, you know, keep stirring them periodically because you don't want the onions to like fry or anything. You want to just break them down and make them translucent. Okay, so I'm looking for a nice translucent color to this, and when it breaks down a little bit more, I'm going to be adding some sugar. What the sugar does, it caramelizes the onions, and it gives it that flavor. Okay, so. I'm going to be using maybe a little bit of 3 to 4 tablespoons of sugar, just to get that nice caramelized flavor. Okay, and again, so it started out as a lot of onions, as you can see, and now it's breaking down, so it's coming out. So even though you start off with a lot of onions, don't worry about it. You know, you might think you're using too many onions. It'll break down. It'll break down. And you're going to see later on how this is going to break down. So, but this is the base flavor of the onion soup. So, yep. Okay, folks, so the onions are starting to look like they're cooking. And again, I don't want to burn them, so they're starting to brown a little bit. And I'm going to be adding 4 tablespoons of sugar. Watch. Okay. I'm going to add it to it slowly. And what this is going to do is going to caramelize the onions, okay? So 4 tablespoons of sugar. Okay. Mix it around. And mixing it around it's gonna become caramelized, okay? There you go. And oh, it smells so good. I just added a half a teaspoon of thyme and a half teaspoon of garlic powder. I actually added, so yeah. Okay. So you can see that the onion is turning brown and it's starting to cook. And it's fully, so what ended up like a big pot of onions is really not much. And I'm just gonna let the sugar in there flow and caramelize. I'm gonna be adding some Marsala wine, which I'm gonna be adding half a cup in a few minutes. And I'm just gonna let this cook in, caramelize a little bit more, and it's gonna be, you watch. So folks, it smells good, it's delicious. I just tasted some of the onions, and let me get this little piece of onion here, the skin. It's delicious. Okay, so the onions are pretty broken down, I can see, and I put the sugar in there, and it looks like it's done. Okay, so now we're going to start adding the beef broth. Okay, so we got in here. Actually, I'm going to add the Marsala wine, which is a half a cup of Marsala. Oh yeah, this is gonna give it a flavor, I'm telling you. So, you can smell that there. Okay. You can smell the Marsala wine. Okay. Just raise the flame a little bit. Let some of that aroma burn off, and then let's add the beef broth. Okay. Because some of the alcohol, most of the alcohol has, as you can see, it's rising. The alcohol is evaporating, and from the Marsala wine. So I'm gonna keep. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to burn off the alcohol, and now I'm gonna be putting in. This is a 32 ounce of beef stock. I'm gonna put the whole thing in. Actually, I'm gonna put 2 of them in here. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh man. So folks, I've added my 32 ounces, two of them 32 ounces, which would be 64 ounces, right? And there it goes. Look at this. So I'm gonna let this now boil. I added some black pepper. I added a teaspoon of half a teaspoon of black pepper. a teaspoon of garlic powder. I didn't add no salt to this because it's already flavorful. The beef stock has flavor, so there's no need to add no salt. This has no salt added to it, okay? And I'm just stirring it around, make sure that's nice and stirred. And then I'm gonna bring this to a boil to get all the flavors out. So folks, my onion soup is boiling and I'm getting all the flavors out of it, and it tastes terrific. I tasted it, Gilbert tasted it, and it's good. And like I said, there must be hundreds of ways to make French onion soup, but this is one of them. Very simple, very quick, very easy. And we're gonna be eating this with some grilled cheese. And you know, we'll see what happens. But okay, so to top the French onion soup, I'm gonna be using some Swiss and maybe some mozzarella. I gotta check my fridge, see if I have some mozzarella. Let's see what I got, but I'll throw in a combination of cheeses and make it good. Okay, so I'm gonna boil this, and I'm gonna actually lower this. I want this to simmer, not to boil. I don't want to, I don't want it to evaporate. So I'm just gonna simmer it for a few minutes, 5 or 10 more minutes, and it should be done. Let the onions cook in there, more flavorful and the whole thing. And I got this pan right here where we're gonna be doing the grilled cheese. So stay tuned. So folks, I'm toasting my my French bread, which I'm going to be making. I'm going to be laying on top of the French onion soup with the cheese, because that's what French onion soup is. And I'm going to show you how it's done. So I have my bread, which I put some olive oil on it, and some little bit of butter, and I'm going to get it nice and toasty. And what I'm looking for is toast. So it gets toast, and then I'm going to put it on top of the French onion soup. You're going to see how I put that together. So folks, I'm making my grilled cheese now, and I'm gonna be using cheddar cheese for my grilled cheese tonight. Not American. I'm gonna be using cheddar. Okay. So folks, to make to put the French onion soup and get it real nice, you need to have these bowls. Okay. I used to have these smaller bowls, and it would fit real nice. But now we got bigger bowls because we want a bigger serving. But it doesn't look like it used to before. But anyway, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna be putting the bread on top, the soup on the French onion soup, and the 2 pieces of bread on top. Some people use croutons. You could do that. But the magic is to put the cheese on top, and you have to make the bread toasty so that it doesn't sink down. You put it in there, you put the cheese on top, and then you immediately put this in the broiler or in the toast oven. But I use the broiler, and then the heat will melt the cheese all on top of it, and it'll be a covering of gooey cheese. And you can use Gruyere, you can use Swiss, you can use mozzarella, or you can use your imagination. And then you melt that cheese on top, and you serve this piping hot. Be very careful, piping hot, onto a plate and onto the table. So in a few minutes I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so let me start putting this together, and let me show you how I'm gonna put this together here. Okay, so you see the bowl? Okay, so I'm gonna get my soup. Okay, using a ladle. Or ladle? That's what it's called. Yeah, ladle. And I'm gonna be using to put the French onion soup. Okay. And I'm going to fill it up to almost the top, you know. There we go. And I'm going to be putting the bread on top of this, and then the cheese. Okay, folks, so my this is in here. And we're going to put the bread, it's nice and toasty, so that should float. And then I'm going to put Swiss cheese. That's what I'm using today. Okay. And this has to be nice and toasty, so that it'll float. Okay, so like I said, I'm putting that in there. I'm gonna put some mozzarella cheese in here because I just want a combination of 2 cheeses. So let me get this mozzarella here. Okay, we gotta cover that up. We're gonna cover this up in there like that. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna cover this up, and we're gonna put this in the broiler. Okay, so stay tuned. Now remember, when you put the soup in the broiler, you got to make sure that you keep an eye on it, because if not, it's gonna burn. So you don't want it to burn, and you want it to give a nice color to it, but you don't want to burn it. Okay, so keep an eye on it. I have it in the broiler. There's no setting, it's just broiler, and I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm also keeping an eye on my grilled cheese. So it's kind of tricky here, because you got to know to time everything right. And my grilled cheese is looking good. I'm going to check on my soup, and let me come right back. So everything's got to be timed right, because if not, you burn the food. So Let's get the grilled cheese on here. There we go. So we're gonna get the grilled cheese out here. Oh yes, we're gonna cut this in diagonally this time. There we go. Make sure that, oh, this is hot, piping hot. There you go. And there goes your grilled cheeses. And we're gonna serve this at the table right now. Okay, so, oh, you gotta be quick about this. Look how this French onion soup looks, okay? Steaming, it's hot, piping hot. I'm telling you, you gotta be careful. So folks, everything looks good, everything smells good, and let's go to the table. Now the first thing I'm gonna say is that most people say that grilled cheese go with a tomato soup, right? It does. And it's on a cold night. Well, it's not cold tonight, and we don't have tomato soup. We have French onion soup. People are gonna say, well, French onion soup's got the French bread and you get too much bread. Hey, I don't know. I'm gonna take my medication so my sugar doesn't spike. Anyway, folks, all jokes aside, this is what we're eating. You don't have to stay to the tradition tomato soup and grilled cheese and tomato soup. We're doing it different here at the household. So I'm gonna show you how it looks. It smells delicious. The grilled cheeses, it's even making noise. It's whistling at me. The soup is whistling at me. I never heard such a thing. But let's turn this around. So there goes your grilled cheese. Nice sliced up grilled cheese. This was made with cheddar cheese, not American. You know, traditional, again, it's American cheese, but we're using cheddar. Okay, so they go to the nice toasty bread that's on top, and the French bread on top. And the soup smells good, I'm telling you. And here's what it looks like at the table. And there goes another serving here for me. I got the grilled cheese and I have the French onion soup, okay? And yeah. So these bowls are nice and you get a nice filling. And yeah. So folks, that's what it looks like. So untraditional grilled cheese with French onion soup. I don't care what you say, that's what we're having, okay? You can follow this, if you watch the video, follow these instructions. They're very easy. And if not, you know, do your own soup. Get out of a can. I don't know what to tell you. I'm only here to tell you. So anyway, folks, with all that said, all jokes aside, tomorrow is Friday. I gotta go see my parents. And I love you guys. Keep you in the heart. And I will see you guys on Saturday with something new, something amazing like always. And keep your mask on, okay? Keep your mask on, wash your hands often, all that good stuff. Have a great night and enjoy the weather because pretty soon we'll be walking through the snow.